Welcome all to RGN's C64 Quickload, your concise guide to latest news and releases for your Commodore 64, delivered in bite-sized portions. It's been a while, so let's see what we have for you in this episode. Monty Boyd has commenced work on the follow-up to the RGN Gamers' Choice Award winning game, Infestation. While providing the same style of arcade blasting action, Infestation 2 will change things up with a revamp of its graphical style, drawing inspiration from Turrican with its larger sprites and multi-directional scrolling. Having been given access to the early build of the game, I can see Infestation 2 instantly contains all the elements that made the original so good. The general premise of the game this time around is to collect all the crystals before being able to exit the screen without having to kill all the enemies. There will be weapon upgrades to collect, and an engaging story narrative will play out between levels. If Monty's track record is anything to go by, then Infestation 2 is sure to be another Game of the Year contender upon its release. Hey look, another Pac-Man clone variant. Yippee. But to be fair, Donutsman C64 offers a little more with its game design to make it somewhat interesting. By day, your world famous video game hero, but secretly what you really love are sweet, round, delicious donuts. So when night falls, you don a mask and sneak away from your maze to explore the haunted warehouses of donut factories. Your mission is to find and eat as many donuts as you can before the ghosts get you. Collecting super donuts make you invisible for a few seconds, while eating stinky cheese gives you such bad breath that ghosts will stop chasing you temporarily. And providing an interesting twist, eating a light bulb will plunge the warehouse into darkness until you eat a second one to restore the light. Once you collect all the donuts, press the fire button to spit donuts at the ghosts and eliminate them. Donutsman C64 has the potential to be an engaging arcade style of game, but it's let down by its slow pacing, which will limit its overall appeal. Shipwrecked is a space exploration themed team management game. You take on the role of a commander of a crew of 8 astronauts on their way to Mars as part of the first manned mission to establish a bridgehead for further colonisation. Problems arise with the ship just as it enters the Mars atmosphere, and the crew is forced to initiate an emergency landing. Fortunately, some basic infrastructure is already in place from previous unmanned missions, including a habitat for the space crew. When the game kicks off properly, we find that a couple of crew members will have died and that the escape capsule is far from its intended spot. So it's up to you to issue orders to establish a shelter and oxygen supplies as soon as possible, and then survive until the next manned ship arrives in about 90 days. Shipwrecked essentially requires you to identify tasks that require immediate prioritisation and assign tasks to your crew to undertake. The main spaceship with the bulk of supplies needed for survival has been located some distance away, and you need to instruct crew members to go to the ship and bring back specific items as needed. Shipwrecked is a heavy game and has a very high difficulty curve. At times, it feels like it requires trial and error to figure out how to solve certain problems, and keeping track of life-saving supplies and infrastructure can feel overwhelming. There is a good deep game here, but most of us won't have the patience to persist with it. Fish Tycoon is a slow-paced simulation game where you'll need to manage your fuel, bait and fishing line supplies as you travel across lakes, rivers and open seas in search of the perfect catch. Presented using Petski graphics, this turn-based fishing sim uses virtual dice-driven outcomes to determine the successes of your catches. If the result is equal or higher than the fish strength, then you catch it. If the roll is lower, the tension on the line increases. If the tension exceeds a limit, your line may break and the fish escapes. Go back to port to sell the fish you catch to increase your funds and do it all over again and again until you run out of essential supplies. I was quite intrigued with the premise of Fish Tycoon as I enjoy these type of sim games, but once you start playing it, you realise that it doesn't have enough going for it to hold your interest long enough. So this one falls into the one-time quick play category. Icon 64 are just about ready to unleash another modern day interpretation of a classic game title. Tyrian Towers is a tribute to Crystal Castles, and I think the isometric graphical style on display looks stunning. Tyrian Towers is looking to provide 50 levels of addictive and challenging arcade gaming action as you collect all the eggs on screen while avoiding a myriad of enemy characters. This one is looking to have you playing for hours on end and will be released via Cytronic software within the upcoming months. El Cataro is about to get its full release. At its core, El Cataro is a classic arcade-style platformer where each screen presents a self-contained challenge that blends tight platforming with enemy evasion. The main objective of each level is to collect 9 letters that, one by one, fall down from the sky while staying alive long enough to deliver them. El Cataro impresses with some attractive cartoon-style graphics and tasteful use of the C64's colour palette. Each level offers a different thematic region that gives a player something new to see as they advance through the game, and the music soundtrack is upbeat and catchy. While production values behind the game are of good standard, the game's biggest downfall is its level designs. For most part, the gaming experience on offer is simple, repetitive and somewhat dull. The difficulty curve is inconsistent and enemy behaviour lacks intelligence with their very linear movement, and the game is very short, consisting of only 14 levels. El Cataro is a well-polished piece of production with some charming retro qualities, but just fails to deliver on what matters most: gameplay. El Cataro will be released digitally through itch.io, with a physical cassette version becoming available through K&A Plus magazine. And that is a wrap on another C64 Quickload. Until next time, bye for now.